Hey, Eddie here. Zero Blunder Quest once again, and today we are gonna make a review of game number 9 and game number 10. The main takeaways of these two games basically is that I need to start playing with more time. Although we see a lot of videos on the internet like people playing Blitz like 5 minutes with 5, 3 minutes, or bullet games. The reality is that, and that's what I hear from people that have been in chess for decades, we really need time to get used to certain positions, and we are all different. So these last games I played 15 minutes with 5, and clearly the time just I reached the end game and I started doing a lot of dumb moves because I didn't have time. So that is the main takeaway of these last two games. The next one, today's game that I will be making later today, probably will be with 20 minutes 15 seconds. I believe it's a good time. I know it's for anyone watching. It's not it can be only if you are really interested into chess and chess development. Um, it's actually difficult to see an entire game. So I get that point, but yeah, one's gotta do what one's gotta do. So let's review. So on game 9 I played with this Japanese person. I hope he's a person or she's a person and not an AI, but we never know. Somehow psychologist, and I had two blunders, and I will try to make the review quick. I was just checking if everything was alright. So I had 68.5 accuracy, which is not great, and he had 72.2. I had two blunders, the opening was great, and 1050, and he had 1500, 1300. Ouch. And he had one blunder, I had two blunders and two misses. I think that all of this was in the end game. Let's go for the review and check. Yeah, we can see here like opening, we are both playing quite nice, and we come here and how's the time? I have 4 minutes on move 15 and he has 11 minutes. And when we go to number 23 I have 50 seconds and he has 6 minutes, and a couple moves later I'm already with 20 seconds. So the increment per move was 10 seconds. So yeah, I managed to actually play 13 moves more with only 20 seconds, which is not bad. But let's see the game. I went for the London, that's what I usually play, and to be honest, he played, I think this is the best move that you can play against the London according to the engine. I'm not fully sure, but if not the best, it's like one of the bests. The idea is to already open the queen and for black to be able to develop the knight without locking this pawn, because there's a lot of ways to attack when the pawn comes out before this. But so initially it almost seems like a gambit, but of course that, as in most of openings, they will then attack this pawn, and it will be very difficult for us to defend it. The only way like to defend this pawn will be like if we take it and then want to defend is like or going the knight here or going the pawn here, but we are already making some structural sacrifices, so normally I don't think it is good to take. So I kept the normal London system structure, again maintaining what's left of my pyramid. Here it was actually better for him to play this. Anyway, this was just development move, so I won't spend too long here. Yeah, if he had played knight h5, I would probably go e3, or I could still go g3, and if he takes, I open the rook. That classical system, but I don't know if it would work because I'm not so used to play with this open file. So it says that I think I remember seeing that it will say for a while that my best move was actually to develop, already on the move before. I don't know exactly what's the reason for after opening this line or semi-open column, for the engine to say that bishop d3 is a move that we should play first, because normally, like developing the knight and then the bishop, it's more or less the same. So I assume it is because of this open file, and maybe this open file, semi-open. I'm saying open files, but I meant to say semi-open. Anyway, I ended up here. I took because normally I would, if I still had the pawn, for me it was okay to have these two pawns here, because although it's double pawn, normally it's a typical structure that some people call it the Burke structure. I don't know that much about chess, but this, when there are two pawns here, it's not so bad as when a lot of people think about double pawns. But in this situation I did not have this pawn, the e pawn, so I actually took on d6 and let him develop the queen, but the engine says it's a good move. So, and here I ended up coming here, and I was thinking that because I was too focused on this pawn break, I just felt that he wanted this pawn break, and I wanted to avoid it. So what I was thinking was that when he plays e5, I take, he takes if there's not a bishop here, and I take, and he takes, and he has a queen. Although he has an isolated queen pawn, this one, he has a queen here, we check. So I would have like to prevent it, and then you'd or retreat the queen or trade the queen. I don't know what was better actually, but yeah, that idea didn't, I was not liking that possibility, so that's why I came with the bishop here, which was not such a good move as it could have been here, but nothing bad. And the castle. So here I was forced to take because I still wanted for him not to be able to play e5. Normally trading a bishop for a knight is not something that you want to do, and it's also not something I want to do, but yeah, since my line of thinking was this, I mean, the engine now says that we are equal, like this is a draw for the engine at the moment. Um, so basically, black managed to neutralize the game. And actually, now looking at this, after I take, suddenly he has three really nice pawns. I mean, they might not be so nice for his bishop, but in terms of structure, he has an entire pawn structure connected. So, of course, that he will try probably he should try to get his pawns on black squares because he has a white square bishop. But yeah, it definitely looks better, and also he has so yeah, I get why this move wasn't that great, and maybe I was um, overestimating, overstating, no, over. Basically, I was just feeling that probably e5 was not that bad. So I castle. Till now all good, but I have 8 minutes, he has 14, so basically he played all these 11 moves quite fast. And here, I mean, I knew I needed to develop, and the idea of playing the knight here was actually because I felt this was a nice outpost. Um, Here the knight cannot be attacked by a pawn, and it can be attacked by a knight, and that maybe I missed this. So if this knight didn't exist, this outpost will be really nice, because when I move my knight to b3 and then c5, the reality is that there are no pawn on the b file or the d file, so my knight won't be attacked by a pawn. Again, if this knight was already gone, and it could not be attacked by a bishop because there's only a light square bishop. So the only way for him to take this knight out of here was either to first grab the pawn, which is in a pawn chain, so first you would have to break the entire pawn chain to isolate the pawn, so, or trade the rook for a knight. So that was my line of thinking, to have like this super powerful knight, like just annoying all the moves that you do here. Maybe the idea was good, but I didn't. I think that I missed knight d7. The engine recommended actually b4, probably to avoid this move, or to meet this move with this move, and still have a pawn chain, because if we would play this and he would play this, we would take like this, he runs away with the queen, we have now 3 pawn chains, 1, 2, and an isolated pawn, two pawn islands, I mean, and so probably it would be better to take like this, but he could also play this, to which I think we'd play this. Anyway, yeah, this was time for us to go and develop the queen side, and with the pawns, not with the knight. But he also made a move that was not so good, again, because the best move for him was this one, because I was already eyeing that square. And when I played this, okay, I know why I played this, because when my knight goes over there, the rook can come here, and And yeah, and that was my... I didn't want to move right away. But let's check what does the engine says. No, sorry. I mean... Now he's telling me to move this one? I'm confused. Wasn't it advising me to come here? Yeah, but here actually, yeah, he takes... I think that there was a little glitch here. Okay. So the best move would be for me to immediately challenge his knight. Basically, I'm telling him, you are forced to take and I develop my queen and protect this pawn. I guess this is the idea. And if he doesn't take, I take, and now he has an isolated pawn. He has these double 2 pawns that are kind of weird, and I might have better idea or more ease to attack. I placed the queen here to defend this pawn, as I said, and at the same time to stay already on this diagonal, considering possibilities of knight g5 whenever these knights would get out of here. But yeah, that's the reason why. So this move just made me develop my rook, so I don't know if... And now I play this, which I remember I consider like, this looks like a bad move. Because I can just attack it directly. And that was another reason I was thinking at the time. Oh, yeah, and I found this move, which was a good move, attacking the bishop, and basically the bishop cannot come anywhere, it can only go back. And now I missed, it was... yeah, and now he made the first blunder, and now I make the second one. Meaning, first I actually find a really nice move that I didn't notice. Like, this tactic, I take the bishop, he takes, and I grab the knight. Like, easy as that. And I just felt his bishop can be too strong. He's a bishop, so it is a bishop. Let me take the bishop, and he takes, and I play really fast. And didn't even realize. I take, he takes, and I play the other rook to the center. Yeah. So this was my first blunder, or was this considered a miss? I think, yeah, this was considered a miss. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I took basically, no. Yeah, I had 21 seconds and now 19 seconds, so I took 12 seconds, which for me is kind of fast. Anyway, he retreated with the knight. I think that he also noticed, hey, he could have taken my knight. Here I'm already with 2 minutes, he has 11 minutes. I'm attacking this pawn in a very maybe basic way, because when I take it, he takes this one, so I was lacking ideas here and time was ticking. I took advantage of this this outpost. He played here, which I was like, this sounds so strange, and I think I took, or not yet. Oh, okay, I was considering doubling the rooks. I took with the rook. I was in 2 points advantage, although I didn't have any material advantage. So yeah, and I had been in a bigger advantage here. The moment that I use this tactic, if I would take the knight, I would be with almost 5 points up. But yeah, here I'm also already in an advantage, like of almost 2 points. And let's see. Okay, here I took the yeah, here I remember that I was thinking how shall I take this pawn, and actually it makes sense now to take with the knight, because I'm attacking the rook, and so he needs to do something regarding the rook. I mean, he can still come here, but I'm gonna take the rook. If he takes my queen, I just trade, and I just traded. And then he takes my knight. So yeah, now I get it that it would be more interesting to take with but I was already stressing out on time. So here I take, he takes, and I come here attacking that one and defending this one. He actually recommended the a4, but okay, till now not a lot of crazy stuff have happened, and now it just begins. I'm with 54 seconds, I take this one, so I think I have advantage of 1 pawn, yeah. He comes here, which I saw, and I move my king here because I knew that I needed to develop my king, and if he takes, for me it's great, because then my king can help this pawn, for example. But the thing was that now I have 23 seconds, and from here on, like, it was what it was. He played bad. This overlooks an opportunity to activate a look by getting it to the 7th rank. Probably he says this one, okay. And here I played this, which was, I mean, a very natural move, attacking the knight. And he comes here. And I saw that he's like occupying this place, but I wasn't seeing the mate, because you need to take, I take, he give me a check, and I come here, and I didn't, although I had 23 seconds, I didn't saw any threat here. That's why I said, let's just keep on going with this pawn, and maybe we'll still be able to promote. Yeah, it says that I overlooked this of attacking the rook and gaining a tempo. Okay, it's true that the rook couldn't come here because I had this check, so the rook probably would have to come here, not here, because then I had a fork, so the rook would have to come here, actually. Yeah, actually this move would be like totally place the rook out of the game. So you would be forced after or to move his rook away or to take. But yeah, that's the thing, that with 20 seconds you cannot. So he took, which was a mistake. So I'm again winning for 2.5 points, and he decides to take this pawn, which I felt that was really weird, because I mean, the knight here, and if he finds a way for me to go back here, there is still that idea of mating here. But yeah, he did this, and I went back to attack his knights when I should have started climbing up. I think I was afraid of this, and I didn't have time to calculate, or to attempt to calculate, because if I would come here, if you would go here, This would be a mistake. Of course this would be because he couldn't come here, because when I run away he needs to come back here. He cannot take this pawn because then I have mate. So again, I didn't need a lot of time to realize this, but yeah, it is what it is. So he played f4. I moved there. So we are both like, he still has 4 minutes, so, but I think that he's playing fast in order to flag me. Oh, where were we? Okay, when he played this, I went to took this pawn, and this was a mistake because this rook here was kinda important. First, because I still had this attack on this rook, and which made what we already seen, the rook having to go to e8. And here, yeah, this was the and again, yeah, I was still like with hopes of going up, but now here I think that here probably it was the worst move that I made, although we didn't consider a blunder, because if I would come here, you'd have maybe check. I would come here, and he should try to take my knight to this side, but oh, this was a good move. Okay, he's attacking my... Okay, I don't get... Okay, there is a force mate. There is... Okay, because I didn't realize this rook was very important, protecting this, and I didn't see it, but he saw it. I played this, and he gave me the check, and it's mate. I have nothing I can do. So yeah, this was the game number 9. I might probably... Okay, this is quite long already, but yeah, the main takeaway is I need to start to be faster, but also play with bigger time controls, because yeah, because like losing because of time is quite frustrating. Okay, so this was the review of game number 9, and there will be more coming, and remember that your opponent might still blunder.